Hi guys. So I'm right on time. I figured it'd be about 6:15 for the live. But figured I'm gonna do a beehive gnome. If you do hear a little bit of noise, my grandbabies are in the living room along with Brent. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the finished product is because I just finished one. So this is what I'm going to be showing, or how to make. Hi, Christy. So I added just a little bit more details. I don't normally put a whole lot of details on my shoes, but I figured this one, with the yellow and black, it would tie in really good. So, but I just used a pool noodle, a flower pot, some rope. I'm going to walk through all of the supplies right now. Alright, so I'm using one of the bigger pool noodles. Hi, Sam. Hi, Sue. I'm so glad you guys are able to log on and catch this. So, the pool noodles, I get them at the Dollar Tree. I also get them at Walmart when they're on sale. And I've been cutting them down to about 4 inches in length. Sometimes I do 5, just kind of depends on how tall I want my gnomes. So, I got this, and I can get probably about 10 or less. I don't know. Yeah, about 10. It's about 10 cents per little thing here. So, with one pool noodle, I can get 10 of them. And then the little flower pots, I got them at the Dollar Tree. They come in a 4-pack, so it'd be 25 cents for the pot. That's going to be my beehive when I flip it upside down. The rope, I just got one package of the rope from Dollar Tree. Now I did cut just a little piece off because I want to be able to make that that opening. So I cut a little piece off, formed a circle, and placed it on just a little piece of black felt. And I used some more black felt. I'm covering the bottom of this because I want to weight it down just a little bit with some of my gravel. I do get the fish gravel from the Dollar Tree, but you can get a bigger bag of it at Walmart for like $4. And so it's kind of a little bit better to get the bigger bag because it's going to go a lot farther. And then I have a couple socks. So this one here, since I'm using a blue pool noodle, if it was an orange one, I probably wouldn't have to do several layers. But since I'm doing a blue one, I don't want that blue to show through because this little yellow sock is very, very thin. And I think that blue would show through. So I'm going to cover it with the white one first and then the yellow one. So it'd be about $1 for the socks because it's a set. And then, of course, I have some flowers for the top. I also got little buttons that I'm going to be using as embellishments. Just bumblebee buttons. And then I also got those mushrooms off of Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of those in. That was like a last minute thing there. And this little detail here, I used hot glue. Hi, Becca. But if you didn't want to use, and just drizzle that, there was one time I used one of these little hot pads. It's like the silicone. I want to say I got this one at the Dollar Tree, but I believe they have them at Walmart as well. And this texture on here is perfect for the honeycomb. And I have used it before where I just put a little bit of my hot glue in there. Doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason. But you just put a little bit of that glue on there. I'm going to let it set up and show you. So I squirted some on there. I'm just going to set it aside, and when that dries, I'll show you the effect that gives me. But on this one, all I did was I just squirted some of the hot glue in there, let it drip down. Once it dried, I used a gold metallic marker. Got this at the Dollar Tree, and then I covered it. And then the moss around the edge, same thing. Just, I used Dollar Tree stuff as much as I can, and Walmart. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and start. Oh, I also am using the little Dollar Tree shoes, and I had grabbed some fleece. You can use felt if you like, but I'm using fleece and felt for the shoes. I cut a little bit of black strips for around that edge. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start. I also want to say that I cut my beard a little bit bigger than my template, just because I want that to fill out the front of that pool noodle just a little bit more. It just gives a better effect. Now, if I would have used the smaller pool noodle, I would have kept it the same size. But I want that beard to go around just a little bit more. And if you wanted, you could add arms. I decided he didn't really need any. He's pretty detailed as it is. He didn't need any arms. So I'm just going to leave him like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and start. So I've already glued a circle of felt on that bottom. And that's just going to hold my fish gravel in there just a little bit better. And I just made a cone out of a paper plate, so that will go down in there just a little bit better for me. And I'm just filling that hole of the noodle. And this will give him a little bit of weight. Otherwise, if I put him on my table at farmer's market, and if it gets windy like it was last year, he would be flying all over. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more, maybe just a smidge. There we go. And all my containers, I get those at the Dollar Tree as well. The ones that I use for my noses, I got these glass ones at the Dollar Tree too. All right. So now that I have that filled, I'm going to put another piece of felt over top. And I'm applying the glue to the felt because if I applied it to the noodle, it'll start melting. And I'm just wanting it to attach. And I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at cutting a straight line. So when I cut these at 4 inches, one side is kind of almost at a slant, but it's going to work out in my favor because the top part's just going to be covered. So it doesn't matter if it's not straight at the top. But on that bottom, I do want him to sit fairly good on my table. So now that I have that on there, I'm going to use this white sock. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because it's a blue noodle. And I'm afraid that the color will show through with my light colored sock. So you're just wanting to make sure that's still going to be sitting nice and flat. And where the toe is of that sock, you can put that towards the front and his beard will hide that little bit as well. And then this yellow one, it's a really, really big one. But I'm going to put the toe in the same spot. Here we go. All right. So that toe is going to be in the same spot. That way, when I put that beard on there, it'll hide this little spot. It'll also let me know what side is the front and what side is the back. Then you just make sure it still sits up good. And I'm going to cut off all the extra. I am going to leave a little bit at the top there. That's going to be hidden inside, underneath my flower pot. Now I'm just going to use a little rubber band. You could glue this down if you wanted, but I'm just going to use a rubber band and tie it. So there's that, and it sits really good. And this is my front, because that's where that toe is. And then I'm just going to set him aside. Now I will, well actually I'm just going to attach the beard. I'll go ahead and do this part first. That'll help me remember too, because if I get too far ahead of myself, I won't remember which side's front and which side's back. Alright, so there's that. Then I'm going to set him to the side. I'll put his nose on after I'm done with the hat. Alright, so with my rope, each end has this little plastic, it's almost like tape on the end. It doesn't matter if you take that off or you leave it on, because it's going to be covered with the flowers on the top, and then on the bottom it's going to have that moss. But just remember, if you do take that off, add a little bit of glue there, otherwise it'll unravel. So I'm just going to put some glue on the top of my flower pot. And then I'm going to do a really close bend. And then I'm going to stick that right on the top and hold it in place so that stays put. And then all I'm going to do is wind around until I fill this whole pot with the rope. So I'm just going to wrap this around. Okay. So, just going to keep wrapping around. And if it's not perfect on the top, it's not going to matter, because that's where the flowers are going to be. Okay. And on the other one, I was kind of twisting to make sure that it stayed nice and tight. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's just something that I was doing at the time. And then it's gradually going to go down that bottom. Oh, Teresa, you'll have to show me pictures on how yours turns out. When I first started it, I had a different vision, but then I started looking through the stuff that I had on hand, and I altered it just slightly. So it is different than what the original plan was. So I thought the rope would go all the way to the bottom and cover this lip, but one strand of rope didn't cover all the way to the bottom, so then I had to kind of switch gears a little bit. But then I was like, the moss that I have, it would work, and so that'll still tie in really well, and it turned out really good. And everything's been really good. The weather was like in the 70s today. The sun was shining. It was so nice. We went and picked up my grandson, and he spent the weekend with his dad, so we went and picked him up, and then we ended up going out to eat, and we took the food to the park and let him play. It was such a fun day. And as you're wrapping it, you can tell I'm holding it down just to make sure that it has that good bond with that glue. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it is winding down that edge. And see, once this is done and you add this little hole on there, it's gonna look so adorable. And I started thinking, if I didn't have one of the clay pots, I was wondering what all I could use. You could even use a cone or a funnel or anything to use underneath this rope to make the beehive. Hi, Sarah. I am getting everything ready for Farmer's Market. That starts next month on the 21st. So I'm probably only going to be able to do the Saturdays. They are 8:30 to 11. But I am so looking forward to it. I am playing around with my table setup to see how I want everything to look on there. And then also packaging. When I put stuff away, I want to be able to store things in the containers with bubble wrap around them so I don't get a whole lot of breakage. And then I have to try to think, if I have to close up real quick and be able to go to work, I want to be able to get done in a quick fashion as well. So I'm just playing around with a few ideas to try to make it the easiest for me during market. Farmer's market last year was really, really good for me, and same with the winter market. And I loved it. All the vendors there. I did find myself spending some of my my money on the fruits and vegetables. And I also purchased a sign at the last farmer's market, one that said family. They just have quite a bit. If you guys haven't gone to the farmer's market, you should really check it out. Just go to your local one to see what all they have. It's nice to support the small businesses and everything around town and just see what all is available to you. I've also been asked about a shop. They asked me if I have one, and I don't. I work during the week at Walmart Vision Center. And so this is just kind of my hobby, something that I like doing in my pastime. It kind of helps keep me sane. Alright. So as you can see, this does take a little bit, but it does whip up pretty quick because I'm almost done here. And it's not going to go all the way to the bottom, but that's alright because I plan on covering that bottom with the moss. Okay. And if I wanted to, I could have unraveled this to where it would give me more rope. It would have been a little bit more curly, but it would give you a little different effect, and it would still work that way as well. Sounds like the grandkids are a little noisy in the living room tonight. I do apologize for that. So, let's see. They're playing some games on a phone, so I told them to wear headphones, so they probably don't even realize that they're talking loud. Okay, so this is just about done. They had the phones on really loud a little bit ago, so I told them when I do my live, you guys are going to have to wear headphones because I don't want the noises from their games and the stuff that they're doing to come through, because they like watching the ones that have a lot of screaming. And I was like, nope, I'm not having that during my live. So I had them put earbuds in and headphones. But now they just, since they can't hear themselves, of course they're going to be loud. Okay, so this bottom lip here, even though that rope did not cover all the way down, don't worry because that's where I'm going to cover it with that moss. Hi, Paula. Hi, Cindy. All right, so before I add the hat to the gnome, I'm also going to use one of my big beads, the biggest one that I've got, because I want him to have a really big nose. And then I'm also going to grab my little comb, and I'm just going to part it where I want that nose to go. And that's just in the center there. All right. And I'll add a little bit of glue on there. So he's going to look really cute. There's his nose. And when I put the nose on, I kind of push and then I lean it up a little bit just to give it that little extra cinching down or whatever. Hi, Jessie. Bond. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that extra bond, you know. So I kind of put it on there and then tilt it up just a little bit. I mean, you can play around with the beard quite a bit. And I'm not going to glue the hat down yet. But this here, you don't have to cut that off or anything. But once that sits on there, it's going to sit really, really cute. Now, I do want to find where I want my little hole to go. And I'm going to find my placement where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and glue that part down. And where I have the seam of that hole right there, I'm putting that towards the bottom because that's what I'm going to cover up with that little bit of glue. So it'll look like it has honey in there. Alright, so before I start with the shoes and all the other stuff, I'm going to go ahead and show you that little bit of glue that I put on my pot holder here. So if you peel that off, it gives that really cute effect. And then you can cut it or tear it however you are wanting, and you can put it on here and it'll look like you have a little bit of honeycomb hanging out. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the shoes. So I will show you how I'm doing those. Alright. And I'm not putting any of the rocks in the bottom of this because I'm not having it stand. Alright, and then I'm just going to set this aside, let that dry a little bit. Hi, Yesenia. Then I'm going to do the same on this one. And then I'll go around this edge. Alright. So now that I have this bottom on there, I'm going to go ahead and trim around the edge. That's just the bottom of my shoe. I'm going to do that on both of them. Echo, can you let them know to quiet down just a little bit for me? Thank you.
Yeah, those 1, 3 rooms.
Alright, so Echo was walking by, so I made sure to let her know to have them quiet down just a little bit. They tend to escalate if they can't hear themselves, so I'm going to go ahead and do the sides of these.
She just grabbed her brother and her friends and other stuff. No, not to help her make all of this, because all their friends went on the same thing and they made it. And she made me this castle over here. It's ish kind of like.
So then I'm just lining up the edge along with that bottom there. Then I'm just doing this side. I'm not putting anything up on the top here because I'm going to save that for later. So right now I'm just gluing the edges. And then just the tip of the foot.
I say this. It is about the game, and then when I first say that, she gets ignores me because she already
Alright, so
about that.
just about done with this one. Then I'm going to trim off that little bit of extra.
She said that she don't know you, and she said
I wasn't sure if I was going to do a live today, but as I was going around with my daughter and grandson today, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a bumblebee one with a beehive. My brain was going, and I thought, yep, I've got all the stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So now is when, all I did was I cut those two little notches, because I'm going to put glue down here and inside, and I'm going to fold that in. And that's going to create like a little flap or a crease in the front. So it's going to make it look really cute for his shoes. So now I'm going to add that glue to the top and on the inside here. Then I'm going to go ahead and tuck that bottom down there. There we go. Then I'm going to add some more glue on that inside there. And I'm going to push in these sides. And then tuck all the rest of the extra down inside there. So that's how I've tucked it in. And then where I cut those slits and folded, I don't know if you can see that very well. There you go. That looks better. You can see where those little creases are. And it just gives it a little bit more detail on his shoe. Then, normally I don't do this part, but I thought for a little bee, they need that touch of black. So I'm going to go ahead and put black trim on his shoes. There we go. It's looking so cute. And I did not measure how wide to make this. I just kind of eyeballed it. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. Just about done. I'm going to trim off that extra. Add a little glue. And then this shoe is done. Just a cute little detail. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side as well. Okay. So here's the other one. So the same steps, just all the way around that edge, not going to the top yet. Teresa, they are. They're the ones that are in the baby shower section. They're the ones that I put the mop handle tips that I get. They're the ones that these are the shoes that I put those tips in. Alright, then I'm going to trim off that extra there. Okay. So then I have that all down there. Now I'm going to cut those two little strips again. Then I will put the glue on the top and on the inside and glue that flap down. So I've glued that flap down. Then I'm going to put more glue inside. Then I'm going to fold that and tuck everything inside. Then I'm going to add that little trim. And I'm really liking how this trim looks on the shoes. So I might end up using this detail a lot more. Teresa, thank you. I wasn't sure if I would like this detail. I don't normally do it. I normally just make them one tone, or I'll do the bottoms. The bottoms would be like black and then the tops would be yellow. But I really like how this has that little edge. So it really worked out. It didn't end up turning out how I first visioned it, but as I was going, I kind of changed it up a little bit. So it's turning out really cute though. Alright, so then I'm going to glue that little tab down. And then the shoe is done. Alright, so then there's my shoes. And I will set those off to the side. So he's pretty much almost done. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down his top. I'm going to add a little bit of glue at the top of his nose and at the top of that beard. Right where that pot would end up sitting. And then I'm going to place it on here and hold it in place just a little bit till I know that that's going to attach to that front. And after you feel that it's grabbed it just a little bit, then I'm going to turn it not upside down, but to where I can see the back. And there's going to be, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, there's like a little gap there. So I'm going to put the tip of my glue gun there, and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue inside there where it's grabbing my clay pot to that noodle. That way it stays nice and where I want it. Alright, then I think I'm going to add his shoes next. And then after I do his shoes, then I will add the moss, and I'll do the flowers after that. So I will do the shoes now. And I'm just putting some glue right where it's going to be touching the noodle. And I move the beard out of the way. And then I place it where I want, and I give it a good push so I know it's going to hold onto that pool noodle. Then I just hold it there for a little bit. Hi, Roxanne. Oh, you're fine. I wasn't quite sure what time I was going to do the live today. And normally I go 7 o'clock. That way dinner's already done. But the little one will probably be here about 7:30. So I wanted to kind of get it done before she got home, because I know that she would be right on me. She's a big snuggler. Alright, so that one is done there. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach this one. And I'm just going to put that glue around the edge. And I do keep my videos on my page. So if somebody's not able to catch it, or if they have to leave, early or whatever, it's still there so you can watch it later. He's already looking so cute. Now on the buttons, I used my wire cutters, or floral wire cutters, to cut the little hook off of there. So there he is with his shoes. You can place them closer together or as far apart as you want. I just kind of eyeball it and put it where I feel like. Hi, Mella. Alright. So the next part I'm going to do is going to be this moss. I'm going to just create like a little ruffle or rim of his hat. So I'm just going to place some glue where I'm going to put some of that moss. Alright, so that works out pretty good. I am making sure that I get enough of the glue towards the bottom too, so I'm not seeing a whole lot of that terracotta color, because I want that greenery to shine there. Hi, Janet. Alright, so this moss, I'm just kind of breaking it up and putting it where I want it. Hi, Sue Ann. Alright, so as I go, I will end up spinning him, so you're going to end up seeing the front of him. He's already looking super, super cute. And you can add as much of this moss or as little. You can give it like a really thick rim or a really thin rim. It's totally up to you. If you didn't have this, another thing I have done in the past is I've taken green yarn and I have snipped it into little itty bitty pieces and used that kind of as a faux moss look. So there's no wrong way of doing it. Just use what you have around your house. You don't have to buy extra stuff in order to make it. Just whatever you've got lying around the house. Or if you have more rope, you can use more rope and cover it all the way down with rope. Alright, so this is looking super cute. I know I'm saying that quite a bit, but oh my goodness, isn't he adorable? And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way of cutting the moss, or if you just tear it. I tear it. And if you have too much in one spot, you can just pull little bits off. Thank you, guys. So I was also going to tell you that since I've gotten so many followers, it has given me an option for stars. I haven't read the thing all the way through, so I don't know how that works. But there is an option if you wanted to give stars. I appreciate those and the hearts. So I'm going to finish, almost done with this moss part, and then I'll do the flowers and then move on to the bees. With as noisy as they are tonight, the kids, I think next time I will have them go upstairs. That way it'll be a little bit more quiet. Or I'll do it when they're not here, just because they are being a little noisy tonight. So I have that rim done. I will move that over there. So there's the rim. It goes all the way around. Then I'm going to grab these flowers. They're just ones that I had left over. This one here it was with these. This leafy part was with this big one. And I'm going to take that plastic piece off of this big green piece. And I'm also going to cut these leaves off to where I have 3. And I'll show you I'll have to show you how I did this here. So on the top, I'm going to go ahead and place this green, the thin one up there. And I'm just going to hold this down just a little bit because the flowers are going to go on top of there. Oh, it sounds like the little one just got home. 1 second. So once I have this one in place, I'm going to place the 3 little flowers towards the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down. And that will help this lay down just a little bit more. You might end up hearing my cat freak out because she doesn't like people and she does not like guys. So she might end up screeching. So 1 second, if that does happen, that's what's going on. She's not liking the extra people. So she hisses and kind of screeches from time to time. Alright, so there's the 3 little ones. Then I'm going to put these leaves towards the back so they're kind of draping down in the back, just for that little extra detail. Yeah, I don't know why she doesn't like people, but she loves my husband and I, but she does not like extra people. And especially guys. She does not like guys. Alright, so there's how I did that. I put those 3 leaves in the back. Now in the front, you can see that little detail of the little bits of green that I did at first. Then, on top of all of this, I'm going to place that big flower. But before I do that, I'm going to place some glue because I want this to be flat. So, inside here, I'm going to place some glue there to hold that in place. And then once I have that in place, I'm snipping off this long piece here. If you can see that. This piece here is what I'm going to be snipping off. Alright, then I'm going to place some glue on here and put that flower down. Just kind of gives a little bit more depth to the top, almost like a pom-pom on the top of his hat. Then here's the little bees in the beehive, and then that little mushroom. So I'm going to go ahead and place some glue on the mushroom and that wire. And I'm just going to place it in here so I can see the top of that mushroom sticking out of there. And then the beehive button, I'm going to go ahead and stick on there as well. Then I'm just going to glue that down. Then I'm going to start doing the little bees. I'll put one on each of the feet, or the shoes.
I had waffles.
So I'm just going to glue that to the bottom of the shoe there, just to give a little extra detail. Alright, then I'm going to place this little honeycomb inside that hole. But you could definitely do like I did on the other one, to where it kind of looks like it's drizzling down as well. However you want to do it, there's no wrong way.
Oh, hi, Nana.
Hi, sweetheart.
Nana, what are you
All right.
making?
I am making a beehive gnome. Okay, then I'm going to add the bees. Don't play with them. Leave them there.
This is cute.
Thank you. Leave them there.
Mom.
So now all that I'm doing is placing some of my bees where I would like them.
Miss Kitty. Does Miss Kitty like playing with that?
Okay. And for an extra cute little touch, I'm going to place one right on his nose. So I have one right on his nose, one up here, one there, and on his shoes. Then I'm also going to take this gold marker, and I'm going to color in some of that honeycomb there. You can leave it clear if you like, though. It's just however you're wanting to do it. I like to color it just a little bit. Alright. So, I'm going to turn him around and show you. So I colored that glue that I made that little honeycomb off of the hot pad. I don't know if all of you had seen. I had put some hot glue on this because it has that cute little texture on there. I want to say it was like a year or so ago, my granddaughter gave us that idea. She goes, oh, put some glue on there and it'll dry because it doesn't stick. And it works out really, really cute. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you. They turn out so cute. You can either use, you know, the little textured part that like I did on the thing, or you can just ooze some in there so it looks like it's leaking out of there. You don't have to have as many bees like I did. You could have less or more, or add more mushrooms, different flowers. I kind of stuck with the yellow theme just because bumblebees. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because the house is getting a little bit noisier again. But I'm going to show you guys these, and I will take a picture and post them on my page. And then just keep checking back. I will let you know when I'm going to do my next live. Go ahead and do that. Spread it around. Tell everybody. I am so thankful for you guys. I've reached over 1,000 followers. Last I looked, it was 1,008. Just blows my mind. And I love chatting with you guys and getting your ideas and brainstorming as well. I think at some point I'm going to cut down the rest of my pool noodles because this is all I see when I look at my pool noodles is gnomes. So I'm getting ready to log off. So if you're just tuning in, I am planning on leaving the video up on my page. So go ahead and rewatch it. Watch the replay. Hi Tina and Danielle. So I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great rest of your week. And if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. But I will be doing the farmer's market. It's from May to October. I'll probably only be able to do the Saturday ones because I work. But yeah, I'm going to log off and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching and have a great week. Bye.